What's up, everybody? Here's the best news cycling tech this week. The big news this week is SRAM's 13-speed gravel group and the ridiculously wide Zipp 303 Explorer wheels. So I dive a little deeper than normal on both. The new SRAM RED XPLR AXS is a 1x13 gravel group with an all-new cassette and derailleur, but it's just as remarkable for what doesn't change. It uses the same shifter levers as the new RED road group, which includes the incredibly good new brakes and ergonomics. In fact, the new derailleur will pair with any generation of SRAM AXS shifters with no firmware update required. Just pair any Rival, Force, or Red drop bar group or GX, XO, or XX AXS mountain bike shifters, and they'll automatically recognize which derailleur it's paired to, and it'll just work. It's brilliant, but it gets even better. It also uses the current 12-speed flat-top road chains, which means it works with any flat-top compatible 1x chainrings. And the cassette fits on current 12-speed XDR freehub bodies, so it works with all modern road and gravel wheels. The only thing that's going to feel new for many roadies and gravel riders is the full mount derailleur, which fits on UDH compatible frames and replaces the derailleur hanger. The derailleur mounts directly to the frame, sliding over the dropout. Then the through axle threads into it and through it, creating a very strong, stiff system that adds massive durability to the derailleur. But if you do break it, it's mostly rebuildable. The battery tucks inside the body just like the GX MTB derailleur, and it has their magic pulley so it won't get jammed up if a stick ends up in there. The cassette has 460% range, bookended with 10-tooth and 46-tooth cogs. It fits on the standard XDR body thanks to two tricks. The removal of the UDH hanger creates more space near the dropout, and the largest cog is concave and follows the dish of the spokes so it can sit closer to them. That lets it keep the same 12-speed cog spacing and maximize compatibility. For chainrings, there are new direct mount 1x chainrings and a gravel version of the Cork thread mount power meter, which has thread-on chainrings. Overall, reviews have been extremely positive and I like everything about this except the fact that I don't have my own group yet. But it's already on sale if you want yours. Hit the link in the description. The next part of the Explorer group are the Zipp 303 Explorer wheels, which jump from the Firecrest 25mm internal width all the way out to 32mm internal. Yes, that's wider than most XC mountain bike wheels and as wide as many trail and enduro wheels. Yet, it's optimized for 40 to 45mm wide gravel tires, which definitely falls outside of ISO compatibility guidelines. But SRAM suggests the gains are worth stepping outside those lines. The rims are 40mm wide externally and 54mm deep. Paired with 40mm tires, they create a nearly perfect airfoil shape, much better aerodynamically than the typical light bulb shape when putting wider tires on narrow rims. Aero gains are claimed at about 3 to 5 watts at normal race speeds on real-world courses. But aero isn't everything. They say the added volume created by the massively wider rims allows for much lower tire pressures, around 17 to 23 psi with 40mm tires, which reduces vibrational losses good for another 5 watts or so. To protect the tires from pinch flats at such low pressures, the bead wall is about 4 mils thick, 77% thicker than 303 Firecrest. Speaking of tires, part of the catch with these wheels claiming to pair with tire sizes outside of official norms is that both Zipp and the tire brands need to independently test and approve them to work together. So for the launch, Zipp partnered with Goodyear to produce 2 Explorer tires made specifically for these wheels. There are 2 versions. The Explorer Slick is a 700x40mm tire with a slick center section and graduated but minimal tread leading out to the edge. Claimed weight is 440 grams, and it's this width that has the best aerodynamic performance, but it's also a dry conditions tires for very smooth gravel. For normal conditions, there's the Explorer Inter in a 700x45mm size that weighs 525 grams. It has a bit more tread, but both tires use a dual 120 TPI casing that overwraps to create 3 layers under the tread cap. They add an extra sidewall protection layer and both retail for $80. I have more tech specs, weights, and details, plus an analysis on what wider rims for gravel mean for all of us in this week's newsletter. Click the link in the description for that and a lot more cool little things I found this week. Here's a little teaser to get you to click. This image shows 2 of the most recent ultra-wide gravel wheels, both of which seemed a bit extreme at the time, but the funny thing is, these both launched in the past few months. The new Zipp 303 Explorer is wider and deeper than both, and that could have some serious and seriously fast ramifications for all of us, whether you race or not. Okay, on to some bikes. The new Ritchey Montebello is a triple-butted Logic steel-framed road bike that's purpose-built for really long rides thanks to a taller stack, longer wheelbase, and lower BB. Plus, more mounts and features for racks, fenders, dynamos, and lights. The bike comes with an all-new Ritchey WCS Brevet carbon fork that keeps their 1.1/8" straight steer tube, but adds 2 accessory mounts for sides, internal dynamo routing, and rack fender and light mounts. It fits 700x40 tires or 700x36 with fenders installed and works with pretty much any drivetrain. Frame sets are $16.99. The new Ari Bonneville is a fast new e-road bike that assists up to 28 miles per hour thanks to a lightweight carbon frame and fork and Fazua Ride 60 motor with 430 watt-hour battery. It has full stealth routing, is dropper post compatible, and performance endurance geometry, so it handles like a performance bike but is approachable for newer riders just looking to keep up. It fits 40mm tires and comes with wide range 1x drivetrains. Some builds come in under 29 pounds and they run from $5,000 to $8,000. Frame set is $4,500. The new Cervelo P-Series is the working man's P5, starting at just $39.50, but it gets most of the same updates and improvements. Internal storage hides a tube, CO2, and levers inside the frame, which frees up space for more bottles behind the saddle. Wider tire clearance and improved aerodynamics save about 3.5 watts from reduced drag. All bikes come with their top tube bag, and stack is 53 mils taller with included spacers and revised cable routing to make it easier to customize your cockpit. Let's go. Shimano's new Trailborne Fund will provide $10 million over 10 years to cover trail building and advocacy efforts globally. Thanks, Shimano. Last up, Chris King has new ready-to-ride complete wheels with a variety of their hub colors laced to stands, Envy, head, and their own fusion fiber rims. Prices from $800 to $3,000 per set. That's all the best stuff from this week. For links to everything in this video and more cool stuff I found, head over to thellunchride.com. Thanks, and I'll see y'all next Friday.